guys, welcome to today's demo. For today's demo, I wanted to give you some ideas for Halloween ideas. So like some little activities or some fun things that you can do for Halloween. Will kind of inspire you or inspire people around you to kind of get in the Halloween holiday spirit. Okay, so we are going to start with some fun little things here. So the first off thing I'm going to show you is this is Tombow marker. These are Tombow markers, and we're going to just draw some fun little pumpkins. So Tombow markers are a brush tip on one end and a bullet point on the other end. So they're a duo tip kind of a pen. So you get the brush tip on either side. And what's neat about using the markers here, sorry, I'm just going with my little piece of paper, is that you can kind of create different things kind of depending on the amount of pressure that you put on your pen. So for example, you can kind of get these kind of curly cues by kind of going up on the tip and then heavy lines, so you're kind of being purposeful with where your curves and curls are. I love to also show people these fun little splash marks that you can do with your Tombow pens. Tombow pens are some of my most favorite pens to use. They're just so fun. But you can also even write, a fun little word. Pumpkin. But you can also use the tip here to kind of create this kind of pumpkin kind of look. Isn't that kind of cute? And then at the top here, you can use the top to make a cute little stem. Use a little brush. And then again, you get your kind of fun little kind of curly cues in there, which is kind of sweet. Then you can go in with the bullet point side and kind of add some fun little texture here. So then it's the same color, but then you kind of get just a little bit more in here. Kind of make it just a little bit more fun. Okay, so that's my little tips for you on drawing cute little pumpkins. Isn't that fun? So the other thing that you can do is, I'm going to find my little piece of acetate here so I can show you. So acetate is plastic, just a piece of plastic. These pens, because they move with water, that you can actually color it onto a piece of plastic, and then you can take a water brush. A water brush is just a paintbrush that has water that's already in it in the back side here. And then you can actually pick up the color, and then you can do some fun watercoloring. You can also write fun words, and it just looks a little bit more fun. And what's also neat is you get that really cool kind of ombre effect, which is really fun, that light and dark tone. And I'm just going to flip this over here so I can show you a couple other fun little ideas. You can also take your dark and light colors. So here I have a dark red and my orange, and you can actually pick up the color and you can actually write some fun little words. And then you get that cool kind of tone on tone. I don't know if you guys can even see the red right here in the very beginning. See how it's a little bit darker? So you can kind of do that kind of a thing. Or we can even do our watercolors here. And we can even draw a cute little pumpkin in that same kind of style that we were just doing. And what's neat is that you kind of, again, get your kind of light and dark kind of colors in there. Let me just color this off. So you have the green that I want to use. Do our little stem right here, and you have our cute, you can do your cute little kind of curly hues kinds of things. So got some fun little ideas of things that you can do there. So anyways, that's some fun ideas using Tombow markers. Isn't that cute? So you can kind of be inspired. When I'm doing watercolors, I will almost always pull out my Tombow markers because they're so easy. You can just color on your piece of plastic, do your watercolors, but then later if you need to add a little sentiment or write a little word, the colors will all match with the images that we already have here. Okay, and you can even go in here and we can use the green just to add a little extra in here. Kind of add a little fun little thing down here too. So got lots of fun ideas for kind of doing some fun little art ideas or art techniques or fun little doodles. Okay, so now we're going to move into some more fun things. All right. So I had a gal in a little while ago, and she was wanting to make kind of a spooky little house. And I was like, oh, I could do a fun little Halloween house. Oh my gosh. So I got really excited. So this piece of paper here was originally 11 by 17. What I did was actually cut it down to size. So I actually cut off 2.5 inches from this side here, which brought the total 14 and a half. 15 and a half, 16 and a half. Yeah, so I cut off 2.5 inches. So this is now, what did I say? 15 and, wait, 14, yeah, 14 and a half. That's what it was. 15, 16, yeah, 14 and a half. So that's what I cut this to. And then I scored it. And just remember scoring from last week's demo was when we put it on the little scoreboard here. And we're going to score it every 3.5 inches. So I scored at 3.5. I scored it at 7, at 10.5. Then I'm going to have to flip this over. And this space right here is now at 4 inches, so that I know that this last mark here is going to be 1/2 inch in, so that this will also be 3.5. So you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4 panels that are 3.5, and then the little tab here on the side for gluing that in place. Okay, so that's my thought here. It's making a little square right now, but don't worry, it's gonna get fun. Sorry, as I have things on the other side of the camera here falling. Okay. So now I wanted to make kind of a cute little fun design here. So I'm going to kind of decide where I want the front of my house to be. I want my front of my house to be here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a fun little door. And we'll do a little doorknob. And maybe I'll do a fun little lantern on the side. Kind of make it look like maybe it's on. Whoops. Just going to fix that a little bit. And, oh, let's do some fun little windows. And I'll do another window here. And I'll do some windows on this side. And I'll do a window here. And I'll do a window here. And one here. And since there's a door there, we'll do a back door over here. You can kind of make this like as fun or spooky as you want. I guess I could probably add some more spookier elements in here. Let's add a fun little tree here on the side. Or you can use your stamps if you wanted to add a fun little stamp to your little house here. You can kind of do whatever you think. If you want to make it a little bit more branchy, or you want to make it a little bit more fun or kind of whimsical, you can kind of do that. If I want to make it look kind of like there's like this branchy tree and it's kind of growing kind of out of control over here. Ah. Alright, I'm just doing a quick little sketch here of my little tree. Okay, and I'm going to add one more little window over here. Oh, I guess I might add some plants outside over here or something. Little cattails or something. Just want to make this a little bit more fun. And I want my door here to be kind of a wood grain door. So I'm just going to kind of draw some little lines here. Okay. Alright, so now we have kind of a fun little scene. Okay, so this will be my front door, and at the side of my house, the other side, and then the back of the house. I guess that could actually be the front of the house, might be kind of cute. So, but that's what we're going to start with. Oh, maybe I'll do some little plants or something out here too. Okay. Sorry, I'm just adding a little more plants. I want to make that look a little bit more realistically like an actual house. Okay, so now what I'm going to do in here is I'm actually going to cut out all these windows. I'm not going to bother trying to keep the little lines in the window. I'm just going to go ahead and trim these and just go ahead and cut them out. I'm going to cut inside the little black line here. Now I know that this is not perfect, but I kind of want it to look like a creepy house, so I'm actually kind of okay with my lines not being perfect. If you want your lines to be super perfect, you can use a ruler to run up against the edges of your X-Acto knife, or turn your X-Acto knife up against the edge of, and that way you can get some nice crisp lines there. When you're cutting with an X-Acto knife, if your X-Acto knife is not cutting like butter, then you need to replace the blade. Years ago I was told that when I was working at Stampadoodle, and I was like, really? I never replace my blade. And well, you can imagine, Of course, it didn't ever cut perfectly because I had never replaced the blade, or hardly ever. So as soon as you replace the blade, your work goes so much faster. So just information purposes for you. If you're using an X-Acto knife at home and you're finding that it's ripping your paper rather than actually slicing the paper, try a new blade and you'll see the difference. It's pretty incredible. Okay, now we'll use this guy here. I'm going to cut this out like so. Oh, and this guy, we're going to cut out all these windows. And again, I'm cutting on the inside of that black line, so then that way I can still see that black outline of each of the windows. Okay. I know I have marker here on my hand in case you were wondering what that is. No, I did not get cut. I didn't have a paper towel available, so I literally just wiped that paintbrush on my skin. Because sometimes I am a messy creator and I don't always have my tools readily available, or in this case it was a paper towel. I didn't want to go and get one, so I just did that. Okay, so now finally I've cut out all of these. Now of course you could have gone in here and cut out each of those little squares on the top of each of the panels of the window there. I did not want to do that. I just wanted to cut this out. Okay, so now this is what you have. Okay, so those are all cut out there. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna glue this together. So I'm gonna use hot glue here. That way I can just do a quick little glue and just adhere that in place. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Actually, before I do that, let's go ahead and cut out our little windows here. That way we can just piece the whole thing together. So my thought is I want it to look like there's someone inside, that the lights were on. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the yellow behind it, and that'll kind of make it look a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting. So because I don't want to just totally waste this mirror card paper I have back here, I'm gonna cut little strips. Okay, so we're gonna cut these little strips, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut them to just fit right behind those little windows. Probably need 2 strips here. And then I'm going to use just a tiny little bit of my double-sided tape. Oh, there's my double-sided tape. Okay, so I'm going to cut these into little pieces here, and then I'm going to use some double-sided tape here around that little window so that we can stick that in place. And then from the back side you can see you have that little light. The light is on in the window is my thought. So cute. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and do that for all of these. Let's stick that guy there, making sure to cover up our little window. Just going to put double-sided tape on the back side of each of those. Okay, cut the little strip. And then we're just going to stick this in place, covering those windows up. All right. Okay. So once you have that, now we're going to go ahead and glue this in place. So maybe we should do our little windows a little bit more. Sorry guys, I'm deciding if I want to add a little bit extra onto my outside of my little window here, and I think that I do. And you can of course make this as fun or as complex or as creepy or spooky as you would like. You could even draw like some fun little bats and things. Oh, I think that's absolutely what I'm going to do here. You guys get to see my funky little, silly looking bats here. Alright, well you know what, it's not perfect because it's a bat and I'm just kind of going with it, but you know, it works. Kind of. Oh goodness. Okay. As a kid, I used to draw little bats and put little like antennas on them and little feet at the bottom. It was kind of cute. Okay, it's not the perfect bat. It's not a perfect bat. We're just going with it. All right, and then I'm gonna put some black around each of these so that the little windows stand out a little bit more. but also then it gives us an opportunity if we wanted to put like little window shutters on the left and right, you can. I think that's what I'm going to do for this window. And the little window shutters are just these little lines here. I'll put one on the left and right, and then put some thicker lines at the top. And for some reason, I don't know why, but window shutters always make me think of a spooky house. And then we're going to put some over here and here. And again, I'm just going to do some darker black lines on the top and bottom and on the left and right. It just makes them totally stand out a little bit more. Okay, of course not every window has to be exactly the same, especially if it's a spooky house. Part of it might be like broken down or something like that. Okay. And we'll get the last guy over here. We're just going to put window shutters on the front of the house in this point. And on the right. Okay, all right, now that we've finally lined all that out, I can throw my little guys away over here. Okay, now we can finally glue this together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put hot glue only on this tab. Oh no, I didn't turn it on. You gotta be kidding me. I wait for the hot glue to heat up. Well, in the meantime, while we wait for the hot glue to heat up, we're just going to set this to the side here. It was not plugged in all the way. Well, not a problem. We're going to make the roof while we wait. So I have actually have a circle here that I traced. I actually used an old paint can, laid it down and just traced it because I wanted a nice big circle here. So let's see what the dimensions are of the circle. It ended up being 6 3/4 inch in diameter here. And we're going to go ahead and just cut this out. So I, over the years, was always looking for ideas on how to make like a roof for like a little house. And I didn't really know how to do it. Or, you know, when you're trying to make something circular, like a cone shape, you're like, well, how do I get that perfect cone? It took me a really long time to realize that you literally only have to cut out a circle, and then you just cut out a quarter of the pie, okay? And you're going to see what I mean here in just a second. Quarter of the pie. So you cut that out, okay? Then when you wrap it around and glue it on itself, you get that nice perfect cone shape, okay? So that's what I really wanted to kind of create today and kind of show you how to do that, because once you learn how to do that, there's so much you can do, right? So you cut out a quarter of the pie. All right, so since my hot glue gun is still heating up here, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to use double-sided tape to adhere this. I'm going to put some double-sided tape along the edge. Personally, I like hot glue because I feel like it's just a little bit more longer lasting, a little bit more permanent. Okay. All right. Look how cute this is. Oh my gosh. I love that. Then you have your little roof, and ideally I would like to use hot glue here, but I'm going to use double-sided tape for the time being. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that over to the side there. And, oh, I want to put that to the top. I'm going to make my cone not quite as small as I was going to. Let's see if I can go all the way to the edge, otherwise I'm going to have to cut out a larger circle here. This is probably a good thing I didn't use hot glue, because then I wouldn't have had the opportunity to fix that and manipulate it. Oh. Goodness, are we going to be able to get that in there? I think it's going to be a tight fit, but I think we can make it work. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put some hot glue. I'm going to put a dollop of hot glue on each of the corners there, so then as I sit this on, I can kind of line that up with those different corners and have it kind of sit in place and stay there. Okay, let's see if my hot glue is hot enough quite yet. Oh goodness, it's so close. All right, we'll wait for that just a touch longer. Maybe we'll go in here and add some cute little pumpkins in with that other technique I was just showing you. All right. Got my little pumpkin guy down here. And of course, you could always color him in and make him like a jack-o'-lantern if you wanted. I'm gonna do a couple little smaller guys down here. And let's do pumpkins on the back porch too, because you never know with trick-or-treaters, they might come to the back door. Okay, all right, I'm gonna go with my green pen again, and we're gonna add some little stems onto our little pumpkins there. And this little guy here, and we'll do this guy on the front here. And this little guy here. Okay, then I think I'm gonna go with my red pen and add just a tiny little bit of like of a shadow along the bottom side of the little pumpkin. And same thing back here. Just some little shadow marks along the bottom there. Okay. All right, there we have our cute little pumpkins. We have our fun little doors. Maybe I'll take a moment and color the little doors while I'm still waiting for that to heat up. Using a brown. Oh, it does not have to be perfect. Certainly would have been easier if I had just left my paper flat here while I'm coloring, but that's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's supposed to be a haunted house. I'm gonna, since I had gone outside the lines just a little bit, I'm just gonna trace that a little bit better. And we'll do brown back door too. And kind of give the idea, the kind of fake impression of a wood grain by kind of using the edge of the marker there to kind of get some kind of colors and overlapping, so it kind of looks like a little bit of an old wood grain. A little bit. I'll use the other side just a little bit, so that way we can get a little bit more of a wood grain kind of a look on that door. Okay. Oh, we might as well color the tree, since we're going all out anyway. Doing all of this fun coloring. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of a fun little decoration. You can also put like yellow tissue paper in the windows instead, because then you can put a little votive inside and make the windows even light up even more. Oh, there's so many fun ideas. Okay, all right, here we go. Hot glue gun is finally heated up enough. I'm gonna put some glue on each of my corners here. Okay, all right. Now, oh, and I do actually need to re-glue my little roof here, because the double-sided tape, of course, was not holding. I didn't think it was going to hold. I'm going to put a line of glue right along the edge of that. And then as I stick it down, since I need it to really be the roof to be as wide as possible, I'm just going to hold that in place for just a moment. Okay, all right, and now I'm going to go ahead and stick this on. And we're going to hope I can stretch it to hit all of those corners. Yes, just barely, but we made it happen. Okay. And then you can go in with the hot glue, and because remember the strings, you know, if you guys have ever used hot glue, you can use a little string, and the strings always look like kind of like spider webs. Well, now's a great opportunity to do that official. Make little spider webs. So what you can do here, I'm going to kind of start from the top up here, and I'm just going to draw my line here, and then I'm going to draw my line down here, and my line over here. I don't know if you guys can see that, and then I'm just going to draw these kinds of things. Okay, and I might even go across the top up here too. Now, I don't know if you guys, some of you guys probably know this, but many of you probably don't. Do you know that you can stick things to the hot glue even after it's dried? So, hot glue, after about 1 minute that you put it on there, it is hard enough that if you touch it, it's not going to move, but it's also going to be soft just enough that you can apply Pearlex powder. Pearlex powder is like mica. It's a colored mica. So it kind of looks like this. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I put some on a paintbrush here, and you can actually brush it across that hot glue, and that will look like a spider web. You can shake off any excess there. So now it looks even more creepy. Oh, and of course I put that at the front of my, I'm going to take this off really fast because I want to flip that around because I don't want the front of my house to have that seam on it. You can see how I glue this again. We're just going to do little dollops of glue in the corners. I'm going to arrange that seam a little bit better so that that seam is going to be at the back here. Ooh. Make sure to be careful. You don't burn yourself. Alright. And then, of course, I want to add one more little touch into this, and that's a cute little chimney. And so to do a cute little chimney, what we're going to do is use the X-Acto knife again, and I usually actually slice right into the roof, right along that seam. So there's actually a little break right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hopefully you can. And then you can get a little piece of paper or whatever you're going to use for your little roof, your little chimney guy. Let's see if I can find here. Oh, a little piece of brown paper. Oh, what am I going to use for my roof? Oh, this guy's really crazy. I'm going to go grab a little piece of brown paper here real fast. Okay, hang tight, guys. I'm just going to use my edge of my paintbrush here to just make a little round thing here. And I'm just going to trim that. Of course, your chimney doesn't need to be as long and skinny as this guy is. I'm probably just going to go ahead and trim him down. It's not so big. Then you're just going to wrap that and stick it to itself. And usually what I do is on the very end, I kind of crimp it a little bit. I'm going to use hot glue to just go ahead and adhere that together. Squeeze that little end right there, and then you have your cute little roof. So fun, or your cute little chimney. Isn't that cute? And so then you could take like stuffing and put like with a skewer and kind of stuff stuffing in there, so it kind of looks like a smoke kind of coming out of his little smokestack. That is pretty cute. Let's see if I had any white ribbon that might work. Let's look and see. I don't think that I do, so I'm gonna hold off on that. I recommend fluff. But anyway, so that's a cute little Halloween house idea. Anyways, I hope you guys like that. I love this backside of this. This is even cuter. So you can certainly kind of play around with that kind of concept. You can also, of course, especially if you have kids, you can cut here and here, or you can use an X-Acto knife to do this. And then even open up the door. Isn't that so cute? So you can have little things in, or you could have like little candies or something. You know, it's just a fun little activity. So there we have it. There's your Halloween house. Okay, I got one more idea for you, and that is a card idea. Now, with the card idea, we're going to use some, just some fun paper, and I think you guys will like this idea, especially after that concept with the little light in the windows. You can actually create that with a card. So again, you want to use your X-Acto knife, and you're actually going to come in here and cut out all of these tiny little windows. Okay, I guess you don't have to do all of them, but I want to do all of them. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to slice all of these this direction. Oh, I guess I'm not going to do all of them. And then I'm going to go in and do my slices the other direction. Okay, like this. It just makes it go a little bit faster for you. All right. And this guy here. And this guy here. Of course, the round windows on top of this guy are rounded. It's going to take me a little bit longer to get that. Oh. The rounded windows are not as easy to slice with an X-Acto knife, that is for sure. Okay, and last one here. Okay, all right. And we're just going to go ahead and pop out the rest of these little windows. That guy there, and these guys here. Okay, all right. Okay, so then we're going to use the same thing we did before. We're going to just cut little strips of this paper, the gold mirror card paper, and then we're just going to tuck it behind each of these little houses. So I'm going to put double-sided tape on the top and bottom, oh, did I miss a window? Top and bottom here. Nope, I didn't miss a window. And I'm just going to cut little pieces here. Mirror card side down to cover each of those little windows. And this little guy here. Then I'm going to go ahead and layer my card. So on the front here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put double-sided tape on the back side of this guy. We're going to stick it onto the black here, so we have a little bit of a nice black border on all four sides. And then we're going to mount that onto the orange paper, our kind of Halloween kind of card. And that's going to go on here. A nice border on all four sides. Okay. And then to finish off the card here, I want my gold ribbon to wrap, but because I can't wrap around the front of that, I'm going to use an X-Acto knife right here in that little seam. I'm just going to press in, and that's going to just pick that perfect little slice for me. Oh, I'm going to trim my edge here. Not sticking out too funkily. Okay, and then I'm going to tuck this in from the inside to the front, wrap this around, and tie a nice little bow. Well, of course, it's covering up some of my little windows, but I think it will still be okay. And then you can have a nice little Happy Halloween sentiment, and you can put it right here if you want, or you can do a cute little Halloween card on the, or Halloween sentiment on the inside. And we're going to tie this right here. Oh. Fix that, tie that a little bit better. Oh goodness. Okay. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and just trim these guys down. And there we have our cute little Halloween card. Isn't that fun? Isn't that kind of cool how the light kind of hits the windows? It kind of looks like someone's home. I love that. Oh my gosh, so cool. All right, you guys, so those are my fun Halloween ideas for you. Fun little activity, making a little Halloween house, cute little pumpkins, fun writing, watercolors. So I hope you guys were inspired today. Thank you so much for always joining me for demo. I love sharing ideas with you guys. Have a fun rest of your day. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.